Hello, welcome to our weekly paycheck closeout video. So right now we are closing our first paycheck of the month for May. We've done our monthly budget for May and it's a zero-based budget. We've done our weekly spending plan and gotten each week down to a zero-based budget. Now we're going to close out that first paycheck of the month and see how we did.
Hi, I'm Megan with Bethel Budgets. I'm here because it's more than just math. At some point, you've probably built a budget. You've laid out your income, you've laid out your expenses, and thought it's simple math. I'll just stick to what's on the paper. But then life happened and your budget didn't work out. The reason? Because it's more than just math. That's where I come in. Let's figure this out together. Don't give up. You've got this.
On the screen, you can see that I have open my every dollar. This is how I track my spending throughout the month. All of my transactions automatically go into every dollar, and then I put them in the correct categories that they apply to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these numbers from every dollar and I'm put them in my spreadsheet. You can do this on pen and paper or your Remarkable 2, which is my favorite. But by putting them in this spreadsheet, the math is a little easier and it's color coded. So I prefer to do this piece of my budget on the Google spreadsheet. So I already have plugged in here on my weekly closeout sheet my categories, my due dates, and my planned amounts. All of these right here are coming from my monthly budget. Sorry if you can hear my dogs. I never remember to close them out of the room. And even if I did, they'd be scratching and barking to get in. They want to be with me, but they never sit quietly. Or they do, they sit quietly until I press record, and then they're noisy and wrestling and all of that. Anyway, in these light pinkish purple columns, we have our budgeted spending for each paycheck week. And that came directly from our weekly spending plan. So if you're buying my materials and my resources, you can just copy this from one spreadsheet over to the next. You don't have to plug all of this in every time. And what we're doing now, every time we get a paycheck, so this is our first paycheck of the month, we're gonna come in these medium purple columns, we're gonna come in and we're gonna put what we actually spent in each line item for each category. And then these cells over here without borders, they auto-calculate our remaining balance. And then these dark purple ones show us the difference. So for each line item, we're gonna be able to see whether we were over budget and it turns red, sorry about the dog, or we are under budget and it turns green, or if we're right on budget and it remains, well, in this, it'll be white. I'm going to start with my actual pay. So I planned on the first to get paid $2,158, which is awesome because that means my HSA is finally approved. It's gonna be coming out. I've been working on this for months to get my, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm sorry if this video is more choppy than usual. I keep having to pause it because my dogs are wrestling, or pause it because I'm sneezing, because this is like my worst allergy season of the year. I'm allergic to cottonwood, and right now it looks like it's snowing outside because of all the cotton. Anyway, I will try not to sneeze on camera, and if I do, that's why it's so choppy. I have been trying to get my HSA deductions out of my paycheck. You will hear about this in any of my videos, but it's finally come through, and so I expected to get $2,158. And I planned to get that on the 1st, which I did get paid on May 1st. However, I forgot that I automatically transferred $100 out of every paycheck to savings. So for this monthly budget, I only have $2,058 to work with. So already I've made a mistake, which is fine. We're gonna learn from it and we're gonna move on. So mental note for June, but I'm $100 short already for the month. So I'm gonna have to keep that in mind and work through that for this month. So now we're gonna come down here to our tithe. Now, I'm going to scroll down to tithe and every dollar. We haven't been to church yet, so tithe is going to be 0. So when I enter a 0 here and this remaining balance starts rolling, it still looks like that's the same. So this number is the total income minus what you've spent, and that's the remaining balance. So it looks like we still have $2,058 to work with, and then our difference is $216 in the positive. Now, we're going to go to church tomorrow because today I'm filming this on a Saturday. We're going to go to church tomorrow and we'll put that tithe in there. So it's going to come out. It just didn't come out before I had to film this first of the month paycheck closeout. So I'm not going to think that that $216 is extra money that I get to go spend, because it is planned for. It does have a purpose, and that's why we do these closeouts, is so we can keep a better eye. If I was just looking at my available balance on my checking account, I might think, ooh, I have all this extra money to spend, when in reality it is already planned for. It's already spent. It just hasn't come out yet. So another reason to keep track of these things. Scrolling down to savings, I never take out my lump sum sinking funds until the end of the month. And I do that because I usually have extra money that I get to apply to my lump sum sinking funds. And my more than just math moments over the years have taught me to just do one transfer a month. I do believe in paying yourself first. And if you're disciplined enough to do that with more than one transfer a month, great, do that. I know after my more than just math moments that what's best for me is one transfer a month. So I save that for the end. Going down to housing and scrolling down in every dollar for, is it housing? Where did my housing go? Oh, I passed it, sorry. Okay, water, sewer, trash I spent $0 on that so far. Let me plug in these numbers and I will be right back with you. Okay, water, sewer, trash doesn't come out to the middle of the month, but natural gas should have come out on the 2nd, and it hasn't come out, and I'm filming on the 4th. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'll have to look at that. Sometimes it's just a weekend thing, and that is more of a flexible due date. They never kind of come out when I expect, so we'll have to see about that one. But the electricity came out when expected. Internet doesn't come out until the middle of the month. So it looks like we're $65 again. It looks like we have $65 extra dollars, but we don't, because it's got a plan. It's just gonna have to roll over and be paid after the weekend is over. Let's go down to food and see how we're doing so far. I will plug in these numbers and be right back with you. So in food, we're $14.32 over budget overall. $13 we've spent on groceries so far, which is a weird number. How did we do $13? And it was groceries bought at Target while we were shopping for other things. So that's okay. I'm not too worried about that. We have a buffer. It's not like that's going to make or break us. Plus we have these other things that haven't come out yet. And my paychecks are the 1st and the 4th. So they are so close together. I'm not too worried about whatever that was, $14 coming out when I wasn't planning. If I didn't have a buffer and I was really tight on funds, that would be a bigger deal and I'd have to be more careful, but right now that's okay. So transportation, I'm not gonna put you on hold for that. That was $0 spent in that category overall, so we're right on track. I planned $0, spent $0. Let's go down to personal. I'll plug these numbers in and be right back with you. For personal category, we look like we're $78.43 under budget. However, I really messed us up with that hair category because last month was my month. We alternate. 1 month I'll go get my hair done, and 1 month the kids and my husband will go get their hair done. Because ironically it costs the same for me to go as the entire rest of my family. But that's okay. I like my purple hair and it's worth it. But I didn't go in April like I planned, because April, again, if you've been watching my video, is the most busy month of my entire year. And so I put it on hold and I got it done the 1st of the month. I did buy some hair product in April, but in May I went ahead and got my hair done. So now we've got my hair and everybody else's hair. So I expect by the end of the month that will be red. The kids did get their hair done yesterday. It just hasn't come out yet because, again, we're on the weekend. And the weekends kind of mess everything up as far as paycheck closeouts. But by the end of the month, we'll see how we did in that category. I expect we'll go over this month. I have a buffer. It'll be okay. I'll have to probably transfer some money for that or use the buffer. We'll see. Lifestyle. Scrolling down, I'm going to plug in these numbers and be right back. Lifestyle, we're doing good. We're $21 under budget, which actually is not fully, is that right? Oh, I did it differently this month because I usually put the full 71 there, but because I put my hair appointment at the beginning of this month, I had to divide my entertainment category. So it just looks, because we put $10 in the pet care category earlier than anticipated. So we'll see how that turns out. But still, so far, so good. I think we'll be all right by the end of this week. Again, I have a buffer that is pretty much a month ahead for most of my expenses. And once you get to that place, your bills are okay. But I worked really hard to get there. One of the reasons we do a weekly spending plan and a paycheck closeout is to keep an eye on that, to make sure that we're not having more than just math moments, because we build this monthly budget that's zero based, but then we have all of our bills coming out on the first of the month, which is more bills than paycheck. So we have to line our things up. And over the years, I've done enough of split paying bills or moving due dates and things to have this pretty fine tuned. Don't think that it's always this easy. This is going to take a couple of months. Whenever you start something new, it takes a couple of months to get it adjusted and to get things exactly how you want them, and probably just in time for something new to happen, like your HSA or this is why we do it consistently all the time. Nothing's come out of health this month so far. So we can go on down to debt. Our house payment did come out, $96.98, but nothing came out other than that. So we're 2 cents ahead. That's just a rounding thing that happens every single month. Health insurance, we don't do anything for health insurance because that's a sinking fund, but all of not health insurance, just insurance in general, but all of our like car insurance, life insurance, all of those things are due in May. So all those sinking funds will be depleted in May, and we'll be starting over on those. So that will be a big expense you'll see on this monthly budget closeout for May. Okay, the what else category, I think we have had some spending. Let me plug these in and I will be right back with you. Okay, the spending category, there's a few interesting things coming out here that I want to talk about because you might catch me on later. We did not plan to spend any of this money until the 4th, but it's okay because we're just a couple of days and some of these other things haven't come out yet. So my child's income, they get paid on the second Saturday of every month, and we don't do a chore chart or nickel for this, $1 for this. Because you live here, you do chores. When you turn 10, you get an income for that. You get $10 a month, but you have a Chromebook for your birthday. On that Chromebook is a spreadsheet, and you sit once a month with mom and you practice budgeting. So you give, save, spend. You have sinking funds for different things like a car, college, and an emergency fund to pay for the Chromebook. So my son has been saving money for a video game, and finally he got to pay for his video game. So that's what this is. And it was on sale. It was like a $25 video game, and it was on sale. So we let him buy it, and it just happened to come out before, his income. So this will be a negative expense, and then he'll get paid. And what I'll do is transfer that out of his bank account into ours. At some point when I do my transfer Tuesday, I'll do all those transfers. And so we'll get that money back. It'll balance out, but that is what that is. And then my spending looks high right now, $44.63. Some of that will be reimbursed. I bought some books, Bible study for me and my sister to do, and she already Venmo'd me. I just need to transfer it over, and then that'll be less. So I'm going to try to keep my husband and I spending down this month, especially knowing that $100 at the top is not coming in because I just forgot to calculate that in. So that's where all that's coming from. So right now we look like we're 191 ahead, which will roll over to the second week of the month. So that'll be rollover and it'll apply here. But like I said, tomorrow when we go to church, we'll do this tithe, and so that'll come out then, and it will then be read for this next week, and that's okay. It all works out in the end. That's why we do a monthly budget closeout at the end. But this really helps to keep an eye on what is actually happening in real time, so I don't ever think that I have more money in my account to spend than I actually have to spend. That just because my available balance is a certain number does not mean that that money is actually available. It's probably already supposed to be applied to bills that just have not come out yet, which is, exactly why we do this. So we're doing pretty good. We've had a couple things come out just a couple days early, but we've also had a couple things that haven't come out. So my first 2 paychecks in the month, again, are super close. So I hope that you are making your monthly budget. I hope you're keeping an eye on your weekly spending plan and tracking your expenses as you go along and doing a monthly budget closeout. Keep going. You've got this.